Joining us on the microphone is two people that are all about health and wellness, and also aspiring to greater health and wellness. We have Leighton Jin with Jin and Topics. He is a kind of a guru as it relates to sports. Was with the Desert Sun for a long time, and now has a business called Jin and Topics. Yep. And also Travis Eli, who is a professional bodybuilder and also a personal trainer. Welcome, guys. How are you doing today? Happy New Year.
Hey, thanks for having us, man. Appreciate you having us on the show.
Yeah, and Leighton is over here. He's doing some video. We're going to start doing some video periodically and kind of putting that on social media to further, promote iHub Radio and all the great shows that we have going on here. So, Travis, what is one of your New Year's resolutions? Obviously you're a competitive bodybuilder. Right. You have to train. You have to be serious.
Right.
So what do you do to motivate yourself and kind of get to that next level?
Well, right now, I'm all about building my brand. And Simply the Best is something I'm very proud of right now. And it's just not about me. It's about everybody around me, my clients. They keep me motivated. My clients keep me very, very motivated. And right now, I'm getting ready for a show in July. It's called the USA's. It's a really, really big show. That's where I go after my pro card to be a professional bodybuilder. It'll be my 14th show. So That motivation is really like, the winning helps a lot.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So for one of these competitions, what do you win?
Well, right now it's just, you get a trophy out of it. The top 5 get anything. But a lot of these shows is 60 to 80 to 100 people. You're competing against. Right now, there's no money involved until I get that pro card, but I don't really care about that part. I like the preparation. That's the whole thing.
I'd like to point out the last one he won in Venice was Memorial Day, right?
Yeah.
The next day he was on actual Memorial Day. He was on the Today Show with Kathy and Hoda.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So they were kind of
just
fawning over him.
Like that, that's pretty cool for me. Yeah, so I like that.
So were they broadcasting the competition?
Well, it was about the men of Muscle Beach. And I was one of them. Yeah. So I won that show. I won overall at that show 3 times already.
Yeah.
So it's time to
hang I saw you posing for that. You were like really cut.
Yeah.
What do you do to get to that point where?
Well, you know what?
You're lean muscle man.
When I'm training, like I was telling people, it's different from just working out. Because when I'm training, it's really just breaking down my body to almost nothing, like every tissue I can. It's really hard training well. Whereas the working out, I'm just keeping my body, tip-top shape, for my clients, just to motivate them. Like, I want to be like that. Where, it's all about them. So, right now it's...
Well, you're a trainer at World Gym.
Exactly.
I go there, and you're probably one of the top 5 best in shape people at the gym, if not like 1 or 2.
I appreciate that.
Because a lot of people, they work out for a long time, but they have no results.
Well, yeah, and
that's what you're there for.
Yeah, exactly. People forget that they're there to. It's all about them. You have to work out to feel better. It helps you look better, but who cares about that? You feel better. So I'm all about that. I like motivating everybody around me, man. Even if they're not my clients. So it's just fun for me.
I care about how I look. I just want to make that clear.
It's mentally and physically.
Right, exactly.
So give us an idea of what food you intake. What protein, because we want to make sure that people are healthy.
Well, I'm really into like dark green veggies. I don't do too many light greens. I do a lot of broccoli. I do a lot of asparagus. I do a lot of fish. Because it's a very lean meat. I don't do too much. I do red meat every now and then. I don't do too much steak. A lot of eggs in my training. When I'm training, I do a lot of eggs because that's my main source of protein. I'm not really big on shakes. I don't really do too many shakes, so when I get
it can be a lot of calories.
Yeah, exactly, and
you have to be careful.
A lot of hidden calories too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of sugars that you don't really need. A lot of my fats right now. I eat a lot of avocados. Like a year ago today, I couldn't stand avocados, but like it's one of the best sources of fat. So a lot of salmon, a lot of chicken, baked chicken. So stuff like that is really high on my diet. A lot of rice, stuff like that. But right now, I like that whole intermediate type, dieting because I'm never
What
hungry
is it?
in the
What does
morning.
that mean?
Well, it's where I'm not eating until later in the day. Well, I start training at about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I don't want to be training on a full stomach. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I do go, it'll be a bowl of oatmeal or something like that, but that's the simplistic part of it. I don't like eating till later in the day, get my body ready for it, and then my body's not working double time. It's not trying to digest the food and put out work. So
Right.
yeah, I like
Well,
that
so
better
so
right
like,
now.
what do you start off with when you first wake up?
When I first wake up, when I'm training, I have to have my bowl of oatmeal. That's my thing. I have to have that in the morning just to keep me going.
Right.
I'm doing about maybe 14, 15 clients a day right now, so I'm very blessed, man. So
Wow,
I
that's
have
a
to
lot.
sustain that. I know, right? It is a lot.
Yeah.
So I have to sustain that energy throughout all my clients. You know what I mean? I have to give them 100% from
Right.
5:30 to 7:30 at night.
Yeah.
So my bowl of oatmeal is my big thing in the morning. But besides that, my lunch is a big thing. But it's my lunch right now. Shout out Chicken Ranch. They've been very good to me. So I like the whole roasted chicken and green beans, something very light. So
We're talking with Travis Eli. He's a professional bodybuilder and competitor, as well as a personal trainer at World Gym, and Leighton Gin from Gin and Tonics. So I've always heard that it's really important to make sure that you eat more meals per day. I think the American diet has always been set up as 3 meals.
Yeah.
But the problem is you kind of spike and then you crash.
Exactly. The thing about that is for somebody to eat 6 times a day, you have to really know your body. You know what I mean? Like that person that eats 3 times a day and that person that eats 8 times a day, they're two totally different people. You know what I mean? Like you can't do what the next person does. I mean, if it works for you where you just eat twice, hey, that's what works for you. If you have to eat 10 times a day to keep a certain weight, to hold on to a certain weight, I think
And
that's
energy.
just for you. Just exactly.
That's
like
the biggest
people,
problem. We're
like
so
some
busy.
People, some people eat 8 times a day, but they're dead tired because they're trying to, you know what I mean? They're trying to drain. They're trying to get all that out their system. You know what I mean? They're trying to burn those calories throughout the day.
Right.
So, I mean, whatever works for one person, it won't work for the next. You know what I mean? You have to find what works for you.
So quit the drive-thrus.
Right.
If you're going to a drive-thru, you're probably not eating very healthy.
Yeah, but you know what? I always tell my clients, you have to live your life too.
Yeah.
You don't have to go there all the time. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just every now and then, it's okay. You
Right.
want to live your life. I mean, a lot of my clients, I train from 16 to 85. Like a lot of my clients, I have teenagers and I have an 85-year-old. You know what I mean? I have 60, 40, 70-year-olds. And I try to tell them, like, you have to live your life. You can have that glass of wine every now and then. Not
So,
60-year-old.
so when someone first comes to you, they've never been to a trainer before.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the tips that you can give them that starts them off on a healthy path?
Well, I always tell them, try not to be so routine. The more you change it up, the more you will like it. You know what I mean? When people go to the gym, they're like, "Oh, I've been doing this routine for 6 years," and I'm like, "That's why you are having a hard
Yeah,
problem."
you look the
coming back."
same.
Yeah.
Show me a
and-
picture of 6 years ago. You still
so I
look
tell
the
them
same.
like, let's get out of the routine. Let's start something new. Because what I tell all my clients is, I'm human as well, and when I'm doing the same thing over and over and over, I get bored. So I try to tell them, get out of that routine. Try to find something new. Let's do something different.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times people ask me, well, how come I haven't seen you at the gym for a while? Well, I go to 2 different gyms.
Okay.
So I go to World Gym, which is by my house, and then I go to EOS Fitness.
Right.
And I find that going on different machines all the time really helps me, one, keep excited about my workout,
Right.
but also you're interacting with different people too.
No, exactly. And people forget you have, I want to say, don't quote me on this, about 156 pairs of muscles in your body. I mean, you have to hit every muscle from different angles just to hit it the right way.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand when you're doing the same thing, you're hitting the same muscle the same way. You look the same. It's been 3 years. You haven't changed. You have to put that difference in there. You know what I mean? You have to put that. Your body has to be confused every now and then. You know what I mean? It has to be confused. That muscle has to be confused. When you confuse the muscle, when you confuse the body, for some reason it changes and it feels better, you look better, and it helps a lot. It really does.
What motivates you?
Right now, my kids, man.
Yeah.
My kids motivate me because I didn't have a dad. You know what I mean? So I want them to be like, anytime I go to my 8-year-old school, they're like, "Oh man, that's Superman right there. That's Jaden's dad." You know what I mean? That's cool to me. I started basketball. I coach basketball as well at the Boys and Girls Club in Palm Springs. So that's motivating me as well. I just love working with kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they're so excited about everything.
Yeah.
Adults are like,
Right.
The kids are like, yeah, I want to be here.
Yeah, but as I coach basketball, I'm starting to see like the guy was talking about. Him having his 7th or 8th grandchild,
Right.
and the grandparents at the games are the worst. Like they're
Right.
like, get in the game, let them get in the-" you know what I mean? Like it's the parents that are chill. Yeah, so I mean, but that's the fun part, you know what I mean? You see the grandparents, they're living like vicariously through their, grandchildren, you know what I mean? Whereas the parents are, they're just there, so it's fun.
That is, so I'm stuttering. Well, it's so important for fathers and mothers to be involved in all of their activities,
seriously.
because if the kids don't feel like they're supported from the
Oh
family,
my God, they would know.
they don't continue to do
Mhm.
it, and team sports is one of the best.
Exactly.
We're talking with Travis Eli, competitive bodybuilder and trainer over at World Gym, and Leighton Gin and Tonic. And you're listening to the Jeff Hocker Show on iHub Radio. TravisEliTraining.com. That's TravisEly training.com. And you're promoting the brand Simply the Best.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Simply the best. It's not about me at all. That's why I try to tell a lot of my clients. I want them to be, just at everything that you do. Like simply the best. Just do everything that you do the best of your ability. I think everybody, like our world now is so, I don't want to just say like millennials in general, but I just want to say like we got a little lazy somewhere. I don't know where.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't, seriously, I really don't know where. And not to say that I'm perfect, but everybody around me, not they can be, you know what I mean, just by doing the best that they do at everything that they do. So
yeah,
I love that slogan, And it's funny when I came up, came up with it because I used to go by non-Perel training, and non-Perel is, you remember those Perel candies? It was like these little chocolate candies with the little sprinkles. I had to get rid of that. Yeah. So that's the first thing that popped up. But with Simply the Best, the first thing that popped up was that Tina Turner song. So I'm and I like the meaning of that song. So I mean, it kind of goes with them.
Well, I think balance is really key for every day of your life.
Exactly.
Have some spirituality, have some kindness.
Exactly.
Take care of your inner self. Eat right. Do some exercise.
Even just like common courtesy, man.
How do you, as a father and a family man, how do you find that balance?
With my kids, it's just the quality time. Yeah. Like I have to spend quality time with them. Like even just tucking them in at night. Like because I work pretty much all day. So I work from maybe 6 to 6, and maybe an hour lunch here and there. But like even just going, just tucking them in at night, that's just that balance that I get, because I'm working all day. I can barely I drop them off at school on like Mondays and Wednesdays, and then their mom do the other 3 days. So like just something like that, even just drop them off at school, it's like that little balance they get. I can take them to get donuts in the morning. I can watch them eat it and not have one. So.
Well, but in living your life by example, I mean, they're looking at you and they're saying, my dad works hard.
Yeah.
I want to aspire to that.
Yeah, and I'll also take him to my shows too. My 8-year-old, he's been to a couple of my shows, so he sees that and he's like, my 3-year-old, he calls himself Super Muscles.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Does he want to bodybuild?
Yeah. I think he's 3, so I don't know. But he look at my pictures and he's like, I can do that. So that's pretty cool to me. That's my motivation. So I love it.
So what do you do, Leighton, for your routine? We're gonna get
healthy
on a more aggressive routine over here.
Well, first of all, I like to say I don't like standing next to Travis because it looks like before and after photos when I'm next to him. I mean, he's pretty much the Adonis. But I have lost about 20-some pounds this year. I've incorporated some.
Congratulations!
Oh, thanks. I incorporated some philosophies with keto and intermittent fasting, but I'm not very strict about it. Keto, I interpret keto as pretty much giving up a lot of carbohydrates. I don't give up a lot, but I just eat less carbs, less bread, less complex carbohydrates.
Anything that's white,
right?
Milk.
Well, giving up milk's not a problem for me. Rice was a little bit of a problem. I don't give it up completely, but what I do is I cut down a lot of that stuff. So it's not a true keto. I'm just following some of the philosophies, like Travis said, Eli. I just try to cut down some of it, not a lot completely, because it's just not. I'm not going to be a perfect keto, but I incorporate those philosophies. Right. In the intermittent fasting, I try not to eat till noon, and I try not to eat super late. But when I say that, I break those rules all the time.
Right. Well, there's a way. What's my point here? In American diet, it's always been taught to us that we need to eat a lot of grains for
Exactly.
roughage
Right.
and to cleanse our systems and stuff.
Well, it's
and
the main source of energy too. That's what they say. Yeah.
But it's not true.
No, it's not. It's not. It's whatever you
know,
kind of.
Well, that's why you see like quinoa and some of these things that are very high in protein,
Right.
but also don't turn into fat.
Right.
You know, carbohydrates and sugar turn into fat if you
Mm-hmm.
don't exercise. I always tell people, if you want to eat carbohydrates, do it before you work out.
It helps.
Because it turns into energy.
Mm-hmm. It helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
So how do you get your clients to kind of veer away from what they've been doing?
Well,
It's
the thing
their
is,
habits.
Yeah, but I have to do it very. I never just throw it in their face, ever. I always tell them like, this is where we're gonna start. Do not change anything you're doing right now because I have to see what I can do first.
Right.
And then as soon as I do that, and then after a couple of weeks, I'm like, okay, now we can start, implementing, like just putting the stuff in where we need to start taking stuff out, right? Because if we don't take anything out, what I'm doing for you is not gonna work. You know what I mean? We have to take, you don't have to drink the wine every night. You don't have to have the
What?
burger.
Wait a second.
I'm sorry.
Stop
man.
the show.
Yeah.
Well, in moderation.
Yeah, moderation helps a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, a lot of people, but the thing is, everybody in moderation is different. Like
True.
some people say handfuls, some people say 2 handfuls. I'm like,
When if you're working with 14 different people,
Yeah.
I would imagine probably
Everybody's
your
different.
clients skew maybe a little bit older because it's Palm Springs.
yeah, oh yeah. But I have my 80-year-olds. I have every single different age group like through the decades. So they're all different. Everybody's different. No matter the 16-year-old, the 20-year-old, they're all different. So nobody's the same. Nobody's the same. So the thing is, what the 40-year-old tells me, the 50-year-old can tell me the same thing, but it won't work for both. The same thing won't work for both of them at all. Yeah, so that's the hard part.
Well, and their schedules are going to be really different.
Well, very different,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you got a high school kid that's going to school every day.
Exactly, it's moving around a lot more, and then you got the retired one that's 60 or 70 that's not as mobile. You know what I mean? But they do go work out, they do go to the gym. So
Right.
everybody's different. So I come at them. You know what I mean? I have to adapt to everybody.
What about snacks?
I think snacks are very good throughout the day, but see, a lot of people, they do a lot of meal replacements, which is like the shakes and stuff like that. I try to tell people to stay away from stuff like that because, like I said, it has a lot of the hidden sugars that you don't even know, and you just did an hour workout and you just put that stuff right back into your body.
Right.
Snacks like I like the avocados, like very just plain. Like almonds every now and then. A lot of people, we miss water.
Nuts
we
are
think
very
we're hungry.
good for you.
We think we're hungry, but we're really just thirsty. You know what I mean? A lot of us are dehydrated throughout the day. So if we just drink, the amount of water we need throughout the day, we won't be as hungry. So
I'm a huge advocate of alkaline water.
oh yeah, you like alkaline water?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you had a machine and everything.
I don't have a machine. They're pricey, but I go
Yeah.
to Nature's Health over
Okay.
on Sunrise,
Mhm.
right near Ramon. And you buy one of these 5-gallon jugs. You
Right.
take it over there. It's only $15,
Mhm.
so you're only paying $3 per gallon, which is cheaper than
Yeah.
water you buy in a bottle.
Exactly.
Plus, you're not using all that plastic.
Right.
Regardless of what the effects are, just that alone is a reason to do it.
No, exactly that.
So yeah, I really find that I'm hydrated more. It really gives me the ability to have a little bit more energy.
Right.
We're talking with Travis Eli, bodybuilder, competitive bodybuilder and trainer over at World Gym, and Leighton Gin and Tonics. You're listening to the Jeff Hocker Show on iHub Radio. We're talking with Travis Eli, and in a few minutes we're going to have one of our other fitness gurus come on the air, Ted Guice, who is the host of A Good Fit. He's over here smiling at us. So one of the things it's a little difficult for most people is they make some resolutions. Joe Wallace, who was on in the last hour, was talking about, well, he doesn't really make resolutions. And that's probably a good thing, but we also have to look towards the future. Mm-hmm. And we have to kind of set goals for ourselves and kind of figure out, okay, well, what's going to work and what doesn't. What are some of the tips to get people to stick to their fitness goals?
You know what? This is going to sound really, I guess, corny, but I really think those like vision boards I think those help because I think anything you
like
put
writing it up.
Yeah, like even not just writing it up, just putting like pictures up that like goals of not even just not of yourself or even how you used to look, but of other people. Like, oh, I wouldn't be, that is how I would like to look, or that is how I would like to feel. I think when it's right in your face, it makes you have to do it. And when people think about it, I think it's more.
Well, then you won't forget.
Yeah, when you're thinking about it, it's like I was supposed to do something. What was I supposed to do? But if you got like a vision board, it's like right there in front of your face, and it's kind of like motivating because you have to actually do the work. I think when people don't do the work, I think it's a little harder for them. So
we get caught up in a very busy and hectic life. Mm-hmm. It's funny because people think that Palm Springs is like this relaxed and leisurely place.
Right.
And it is for the people who come and vacation here. But for the people who live here, the vast majority of people who are in business down here are working for themselves. I mean, we've got the big institutions like Desert Regional Medical Center, or Desert Water, Sunline, Eisenhower. Mm-hmm. But there's so many people who work for themselves, and they are working more than they would if they worked for a company.
Exactly.
And so how do you guide people and say, look, you really need to find that balance. These are the steps you need to take every day to get to that point.
Right. I think it's one of those things where, like I said, like if it's not written down as a goal, or like if you don't see it, you won't do it at all. I think that's most of us. I think if we don't like even for like our New Year's resolutions, if you don't say like when you say it, it doesn't happen. I think when you write it down and say like this is what I have to do, then I think that's when you just can't point anybody anywhere. They have to actually want to do it on their own.
Do you give people a time frame?
Not really. I let them give themselves a time frame. Yeah, because the thing is, if I say let's do this in 6 months, that's my goal. Like you have to really believe that though. Right. Yeah, if you don't believe it, then it's not going to happen anyway.
I see so often you go into gyms and you see people who are overweight for their size doing heavy weights. Uh-huh. And I just think to myself, that is such a great way to get injured. It
is, because I mean that's where that the Eli's and the JP's and the Ted Guices and the Brandon Wart, you know what I mean? All these trainers. That's what we're here. That's what we're there for. Yeah, we're there to make people feel more comfortable during their workout. And, a lot of people that go in the gym, I think 80% of the people that work out are terrified. You know what I mean? Like why? I think it's very intimidating. Gyms are very intimidating. I mean, the people that's there, you have the meatheads, you have the people that goes every single day, you have the people that after work, I mean, those people have routines, those people have certain things they're trying to accomplish. I think 60% of the people that goes there, they're like, oh my God, I'm only here because I have to be here. You know what I mean? My doctor said I have to be here. You know what I mean? It's not a lot.
That's probably true. You don't see that many people that are like obese.
No, you don't.
And it's a shame because they are the ones that should be there.
Exactly. Is
there at World Gym? Is there any kind of classes that are geared towards people who kind of need to tone down and lose weight?
Yeah. Ted Guice's class is pretty well put together. I mean, it's for everybody. It's a full body workout class where you got people running around. I mean, yoga is always good to try out. I know they open.
Yeah, I think the Bikram Yogas are good because then you can sweat it out.
Yeah, and I've tried that.
And in fact, let's promote that. Denise Dewberry-Hay is opening a new Bikram Yoga. She has one in Palm Desert. She's opening one at the Sun Center.
Oh, nice.
In Palm Springs.
Yeah, I've tried that. I actually tried that when I did before I did one of my shows. Yeah. And it was pretty intense.
You sweat a lot.
Oh my God, yeah. I think the room, it got to be about 80, 90, 100 degrees or something like that. Yeah, no, that's pretty, it's intense. But that's one of the things, like, it's not just weight training. Not just weight training.
It's 104.
104,
That's our producer, Charlie Dyer.
The Bikram is not 80 or 90.
No.
Yeah. 104.
I think more I was hoping it was that the last time I
Yeah, because you were doing that. You were going to Denise's facility in Palm Desert, weren't you?
I do go to her facility, but I use the, as they say, the moon room where it's a lot cooler.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that sounds good for me.
That's the 80-degree room.
Okay.
The hot room, the sun room, is where they do the Bikram yoga and other classes. And then she'll be doing the same thing, I'm sure, in the Palm Springs studio, where it'll have both of those and a whole variety of other classes that they have in the moon room, where you've got a much more comfortable experience, shall we say. Bikram can be really intense.
I can relate to that.
No, seriously.
Well, and you got to do stuff that you'll stick to, and I think baby steps.
Mm-hmm. And one thing a lot of people don't understand is that when you do work out, I'm looking at your paper right here, and endorphins it's an opioid. You know what I mean? Like, endorphins help you feel better. You know what I mean? Like, opioid is a drug. So it helps you feel better. It keeps you going. I mean, and a lot of people, they think, because they're working out, they think that it's some type of, it's going to hurt you in some type of way, but it's not at all. It's a drug. It's going to make you feel better after you do it, and I think everybody should be doing it.
I think it's also about accountability. I mean, like Travis worked with my brother, and when you have a trainer, that means you have to be accountable to him. So you got to show up to the workouts. You have to be there. You're paying money for it. So I think that's the other thing. Sometimes, that's part of it. But having someone to train with, like when I see Eli over at the gym, that helps me, because then he'll give me some tips, and it's always good to do it socially, so you're not doing it by yourself. Although I do it by myself a lot of times.
We're going to have Ted Guice, who is the host of A Good Fit, join us in this conversation. Right. We were actually just talking about some of the classes that you do over at World Gym, and because we don't really see people that are obesely overweight at the gym, and we were saying how those are the ones who should be there.
Yeah,
because it's a health crisis for them.
Well, first of all, it is. That's a health crisis, but I have a bigger crisis to talk about right at the moment.
Oh,
Jeff.
no, what?
Well, Travis is in the studio with you right now,
yeah.
Travis Eli, and he's mine.
He's pumped.
I kind of feel like you're cheating on me, Travis.
Oh no!
Here, take that, and that, and that. Okay, don't ever do it again. All right.
Well, and the reason why we have you guys on together is we have the Palm Springs Health Run and Fitness Expo coming up. And we want to have both of you guys come and be a part of it.
Oh, now he tells me.
Yeah.
Who knew first, you?
I think we knew together.
Okay. Good answer.
So the Good Fit is actually on after the show. Yeah. It's on from 2 to 3 every Sunday.
2 to 3. And you know who I have on today?
Who?
I have on the fabulous, legendary, now 50 years old, Jean-Pierre Fuchs.
No, he's not 50.
Hey, you know what? He actually helped me with a lot of my prep. A lot of my prep. Yeah, I owe him a lot.
Right before you compete.
Yeah, right before I compete, I go to JP. I'm like, man, make me look better.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, he's the man.
Make me look better. Yeah,
he's the man. Trainer of the trainers.
Yeah,
I even used him back in the day. Now I can't get him to touch me. Not in a trainer way.
Yeah, in a trainer way. Yes.
He's too busy.
So what kind of classes do you have over at World Gym that, people who are of a size that they need to trim down?
It is a health crisis, obesity in America. We are the most...
diabetes.
Yeah, and diabetes, which my dog has now, damn. And we are the most obese country in the world, and that doesn't bode well for us. So I teach a sort of a high-intensity interval training boot camp meets Jane Fonda aerobics class. It's about a 45-minute fun romp.
And we love Jane Fonda.
And we love Jane Fonda.
What an inspiration she is for everybody.
Yeah, she is. And so it's a good 45-minute romp, and we have all fitness levels, all ages. I mean, we have a gentleman there right now that's 83 years old, and we have a couple of youngins in there with us too. So it's a great romp. It's a hard workout, but they do good.
Well, I think the main thing to get across is fitness can happen at any age.
It can. I have 3 of Travis's clients in there, Ron and Janet Barassa and Michelle Harris Nobleman, and they kick butt in there.
And they love it.
So do you tell people to do kind of a cross-training type of experience where you do the weight training, but then you also do the aerobics or the...
But I mean, as fun as Ted class is, like my clients see his class and they're like, I got to try that. Seriously. So.
Well, and a lot of people think they have to be, studly fit before they get in there, and I tell them, no, that's how you get fit. Right. And then you run around the track a little bit, and you say hey to your trainer, Travis, and get your butt back in there. And
you'll look like Travis after 2 workouts.
Exactly. People mistake me for him all the time.
Well, if you don't know Travis, you need to go to his website, and then you'll see what we're talking about. It's TravisEliTraining.com. TravisEly training.com.
He's simply the best.
No, you are.
Well,
we all are.
Because you're all about the good fit.
Travis like he works at the UN or something. We all are.
I'm trying
we all just get along.
How did you get into fitness?
I was a pudgy teenager, sort of, and I wore lots of angel flight pants because they looked good on me. Yeah, I did, with the seam down the back. And then when I moved to San Francisco, when I was 20 years old,
the gay capital.
Yeah, I saw everybody kind of, doing some, and they had mustaches and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
you had to be fit.
Yeah, I couldn't grow a mustache till I was about 25, and so so I thought, well, I could start doing push-ups in my bedroom. Well, I don't know why I chose my bedroom. I just did. I had a whole apartment,
right.
But because I thought I want to look like these guys, and that I joined a Nautilus gym on Sutter Street when I was 20 years old, and that started.
We must have known each other. 24-hour Nautilus, yeah. It was that old dingy building. It was cool.
I think they made it 24-hour after you came along.
Probably.
It was not 24-hour when I was
And then they moved it across the street.
Yeah, exactly.
And it became kind of like a mixed gym.
So that began my journey.
It was mostly a gay gym. I remember one day I was working out, and I look over, and there was, oh God, it just escaped me.
Oh, yeah.
The actor that did Mrs. Doubtfire.
The
comedian, Robin Williams. He lived in San Francisco, and I looked over and I was like, that's Robin Williams. But I was like, I wasn't sure if it was him because his arms were shaved.
Oh, wow.
Because Robin Williams has always been very hairy and, like just growing everywhere.
How do you know
but
that?
It was him.
Oh, okay.
No, because then later I found out that he does trim his hair because it was so beastly.
Right around the corner, there was a guy named Pete Caputo who was Mr. America, I think, 1973, and he worked at Chemo's bar right around the corner from that. And he used to go to that gym, too, and he was a big inspiration to me.
Wow.
Yeah. It was good stuff.
And you went drinking afterwards.
And drinking after. I worked in the bar, so that was easy. Yeah, it was easy.
It wasn't a stretch. I actually worked on a bar on Polk Street, too.
You did? Which one?
QT.
Shut up!
Years ago.
Oh my God, I worked at the QT when it was on Clay and Polk.
Oh my God.
We
dated each other.
Yeah,
you didn't even know it.
Yeah, no, I started there in 1977 as a waiter because I was only 20 and I had fake ID.
Yeah.
So.
Well, who didn't back then?
Yeah.
Everybody did.
Yeah, and here we are, health and fitness
I know.
people now, yeah.
Well, it's funny because Travis mentioned about drinking wine. It's like, I have a glass of wine when I go home just to relieve a little bit of stress. And I think it's important that if you're really serious about a health regimen, cutting back on the drinking is key.
Yeah. How many times, Travis, do we see in the gym people who have retired here and they love the lifestyle and everything, but then they get, drunk and fat.
So we're talking with Ted Guice and Travis Eli. You're listening to the Jeff Hocker Show on iHub Radio.